It takes place in a small East Texas town, a paper mill town.
Dr. Pepper was a giveaway.
Yeah.
What's your professional background? Can you tell us about that? Maybe how that, did that lead into what you wrote? Or?
Yes, it did. I was a psychotherapist for close to 30 years. And so I worked with people who experience what Sarah goes through and how she copes with it. She copes in a very unorthodox way. And I wanted to be able to give a voice to those people and to show the resilience that they can have. And, you know, I've received letters from people who have read this. And one woman in particular who said that you told my story. And it touches a lot. And even if you don't have the same experience that Sarah goes through, I think that I hope that it will touch you. Yes?
Related to your background, your professional background as a psychotherapist, the psychotherapy session is, you know, kind of a commonplace now in a lot of literature and film and television. Do you find that rings true when you see it on TV, the depictions of therapy and the maladies that people suffer from?
It depends on what program. Some places portray it more accurately than others. One of my pet peeves is to have psychotherapists or psychologists or psychiatrists breaking the boundaries and do things that are not ethical. And that bugs me a lot. There is no psychotherapy session in this book, by the way.
But you can certainly tell that it has a kind of, that you're delving into the inner psychology.
Yes, it's very much a psychological suspense. It deals with how Sarah handles and approaches what happens.
So this is, her psychological problems are not something that she's brought along, they're in reaction to something that happens to her.
This is the inciting incident. You know, I think we all bring things with us from the time we're born. I mean, we can't not bring those.
Right. But I mean, she's not borderline or schizophrenic or something like that.
No, she's not.
Okay.
Yes.
You said you had two first person
Yes.
protagonists? Can you tell us about each? Sarah's clearly a young girl.
Yes.
And then who's the other one?
The other is Judith. Judith is an 18-year-old who is about ready to graduate college. And it starts out with...
Graduate from college?
I'm sorry, high school. She's about to graduate high school and move on to college. And she is engaged, and she has what Sarah would think is kind of an ideal world. And it's the story of how the two of them meet and how they relate to each other and how they resolve their situations.
It's really novel to have two first-person narratives in it. I'm wondering how you sort those out. I think it's a very interesting idea.
Yes, and I can't tell you more about that. But it had to be done that way.
Okay.
For this story, it had to be done this way.
Did you find yourself getting confused at times?
No, never. No.
So you had two strong characters that you could get into and keep them
Yes.
separate. Yeah.
Yes. And if you had read the book, I would be able to go into a whole lot about how the two of them relate to each other.
Now, it can be arranged for him to read the book, right?
Yes.
If you were to say wander over to that.
Any other questions? Yes.
Does mother continue to be very important in her story? Because I mean, you mentioned mother, her mom would be upset about the dress, her mom would be upset about the shoes. Does mom continue to stay ever present in the story?
Yes. A relationship with her family is important. Yes. Well,
Well, thank you very
thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you.